concept of high-yield parenting is really quite simple. It's kind of like you get out what you put into something, right? And kids and parents alike both understand this concept. But the idea is letting them know that they have ownership over the things they decide to do, and they can make choices that help them and get them to where they want to be. So it's really important to help both kids and parents understand this concept and to use it in their daily lives. One of the ways that we can teach kids how to make good investments versus bad investments is to give them questions. Does this make me feel good? Is this something that helps me reach my goal? Does this cause a setback? Those are easy markers for kids to understand, and they'll get the idea of, wait, this is good for me, this is going to get me where I need to go, just by asking themselves simple questions.
I play guitar. I kind of just do it mindlessly. I just play songs I like and kind of get into it, but I feel like there's also another part to it that I am expressing myself in a way and kind of developing a skill that will serve me my entire life.
I love basketball because it's been a great coping skill and a place where I can step away from a world that's filled with noise and distractions, and I could just be in my own zone away from it all.
I do dance most days of the week, and I think dance is a way to escape from the stress of school.
Right now, I'm working on an underground floor with my grandma. I dug, it's a 6 by 5 foot hole, and it's 6 feet deep, 6 by 5 feet. And it took extremely long time. And it's digging it by hand was kind of this really weird, meditative activity. There's no obvious skill that I'm building or way that I'm bettering myself, but I think just by doing an activity that is difficult and that I enjoy, in some way I am bettering myself.
So I've noticed on the days that I don't have dance, I say I'm gonna be able to get my homework done earlier, it's gonna be so much easier, but honestly it kind of just feels less of a routine, because then I sit on my phone for a little more than I should have, when I usually would spend that time doing dance or something like that, which feels a lot more productive. And so I think that I usually do my best on homework on the days that I do have dance.
I do this peer leadership program at school, and I give tours to incoming students or incoming families that are inquiring about our school. They ask me questions, and I give them real questions and real genuine responses, and I think that prepares me for when I have to have conversations with people I don't know.
I think one of the ways that we support our teens without dictating a path to them, honestly, is family mealtime. And I think a lot of issues come up either from school. We unpackage a lot of that at the table. We talked about our values that we talk about, that we cherish and care about, that are our family values in the house, and that there might be external values as well. And I think that those conversations and that perspective that's shared has been also a great model for them.
The main task of adolescence is to develop a healthy and sturdy sense of self. And the self becomes stronger less by leaning on our achievements and the praise of those around us, and more by being known for who we are at our core. What I found to be helpful in my own home is to explain to our kids, why do we need to know how to write a paper? Why do we need to be able to stand up in front of a classroom and recite a poem? That's because we need to be good communicators. There are people in your life one day that you are going to have to advocate for. There are needs in this world that you are going to be able to meet. So these accomplishments, these things that you're investing in right now, yes, they're for you, but they're also because you have a role in the world. The world needs you. The world needs your talents. It needs your interests. That is why they need to invest in themselves, not just for their own worth, but because they have a role in the wider world.
That child early on internalizes a sense of, I'm somebody who can do constructive, cool, positive things, and they gain a sense of pride and confidence early on. Down the road, when they become an adult, if a problem happens, problem at work, problem in family, they're not thinking anxiously, oh God, what am I going to do? This is falling apart. They're thinking, I've got this. I'm the kind of person who can work through these things. Often we think of therapy as something to fix broken personalities, broken adults, broken children, and to get them better again. I think it's more important to think of therapy as building up a toolbox of resources early on to live a life without stress or minimize stress, and to early on build the confidence that you're somebody who can cope with that, so you never hit that critical point of feeling overwhelmed or panicked. Telehealth is super interesting historically because in the digital age, even more so, it probably normalizes and democratizes the idea of therapy, because anybody who's got digital access can now access those things, and people who would never get it do get it.
When I walk out of therapy, I realize how nice it was to be able to sit there and just talk about yourself and just relax for a second. So I think therapy is a great way to invest in yourself, even if you don't have a specific reason to go.
I decide what I'm going to spend my time on by like what interests me, because like it's my life. I only have one. Some ways I invest in myself are I listen to music, I spend time in nature, I study, I read, and I practice basketball. Investments I make in basketball are skills training, strength training, and I watch film a lot. When you take a step out and watch it on film, it allows you to see where you could have made a better decision, or where someone else could make a better decision. It just improves you all around as a teammate and a leader, to be able to look at something and take accountability for your actions. I feel like it improves me as a person later on in life when I need to be adult or I need to make a hard decision. I'd be familiar with those times and familiar with that feeling, and it'd be something I'm used to by then.
I decide what I give priority to kind of based off of the person that I want to be at that time, which changes a lot. And it's almost like this weird thing where I'm constantly changing my opinion of what is productive. And so I think that I make choices kind of based off of like, would I think this is cool 5 years later, like later down the line? Would I like regret doing this, or would I think this was like a good use of my time that has impacted me?
In terms of dance, I think that helps with mental health to be active and things like that. And I also make a lot of friends through dance, and I've also grown a passion to love it. But also I try to create a balance with spending time with my friends and having social time, and maybe having dinner with my family as well, because I know that balance in general is really important. In dance, you're not always gonna get front and center, or like the spot you're gonna want, or a solo that you want. And I think when you're younger, those emotions are high and there can be conflict and things like that. But I think as I've gotten older, it's taught me to be a team player and like understand that every single person is important to be a part of the dance, and also understand that even if you aren't the one in the front, you still should be working just as hard.
My husband and I model what it looks like to invest in yourself. Our daughter absolutely sees us and understands and makes the connections between happiness, kindness, wellness, all because of how we move every day. We see our daughter investing in herself in so many cool ways. We see her working out. She's really serious about getting a workout in a couple of times a week, and she'll watch different YouTube videos and challenge herself.
Take interest in their interests, get to know them. That's how our kids know that we are invested in who they are. And it's also how we gain influence as a parent. When we are in there getting curious, not judging.
Teenagers sometimes develop unique interests, and I think that's kind of a cool thing about them, and it is something that I would encourage you to allow and to support. Get curious about what your kids are into.
I would consider my granny to be like a big mentor in my life. My granny is a really good match for me because we think at like the same speed. I will be explaining to her a project idea or like an idea I had about something, and she'll have like no clue what I'm talking about, but she'll kind of go along with it and trust me. But I think we have like this shared understanding that like we both have a good idea of like what we like to do and each other's own interest. I think that is kind of like really apparent in when I'm talking to her about like my life.
I would say my mentor is my father. He provides guidance to me in times of need. He's always there. He's always a person that I can rely on. Not necessarily give me what I want to hear, but what I always need to hear.
One of my best friends has 4 boys, And so our son is like the fifth boy. She's the person that he can pretty much tell things that he would not feel comfortable telling me. She always has these really deep conversations with him. It's so important for them to be able to have that person that they can just talk to about the things. So it is important for them to have someone that they can, fail in front of.
One of our number one jobs should be to be building the village around our kids so that there are so many people they can go to that are not you. You will always be incredibly important, but they will not want to come to you for everything. And that is just like a hard reality of parenting. I was very explicit with my daughters when they were young. We have some close family friends. I said, you can always go to Sanam with anything, like anything. You can go to her if it's something you don't want to talk to me about, but she could help you. Like, I hope you do that. It won't hurt my feelings. They actually do an explicit exercise with kids in sort of elementary school where they have them write on a piece of paper, like, who are people you could go to? And if you don't have that person, let's work on building that. How could we build someone? Could it be the woodworking teacher? Could it be your science teacher? Like, are there people who could help build your community? And they're communicating to kids that community is going to be everything to them.
I think it's really important for parents to help kids connect the outcome back to their behavior. If you are practicing your instrument or working on your jump shot and you're improving and you're getting better, that's an easy way for parents to show that their kids that what they put into it, the effort, really matters and it has a really positive result.
I think about how I'm gonna reframe my whole life to kind of do more productive stuff and make myself a better person. And I feel like that's the driving force behind all my decisions.